in that. Another person believes, how can I be happy in a one-bedroom apartment? I need one extra bedroom. And the third person believes, that diamond ring that I've been striving for, that I've wanted all my life, if I get that, I'll be happy. But think about it. Does happiness really reside in the object? If it were true, then the same object should give the same quantum of happiness to everybody. Does that happen? No. In fact, that one object may give happiness to one person, it gives extreme happiness to one person, it gives extreme sorrow to another person. You know, in Kerala and the coastal region here of India, they can't cook without coconut. Coconut has to be there in every dish. But a person who's not used to eating coconut is miserable with the coconut. So that coconut makes a Keralite very happy. It makes a Punjabi absolutely unhappy. I've just been traveling for a month and a half and taking flights every 2-3 days. And when you get onto a flight, you realize the first thing that hits you after you land and you come out of the airport terminal, particularly in the United States, Western countries, what happens is the smokers have been denied smoking for a good 6 hours, even if you take a short flight. From the time you enter an airport terminal till the time you exit it at the place that you arrive in, you can't smoke. So the moment they leave the airport terminal, they all light up. That's the only place they can smoke. You should see the expression on their faces. It is as if they have realized the self. They take one puff and, Shanti. You look at them, you feel Shanti. But to a non-smoker, to a person who's allergic to that smoke, it gives extreme displeasure. A book. Nowadays, you tell a child to read a book, they behave as if it's a punishment. To a person who has learned the art of book reading, what a joy it is. So, the same object can give pleasure to one person and displeasure to another person. So, where does happiness lie? What happens is, as long as desire is unfulfilled in you, the mind is in turbulence, there are mental agitations, you are unhappy. The moment the desire is fulfilled, temporarily the agitation ceases. Please mark the word temporary. Temporarily, for that moment, the agitation ceases and you are happy. So where does happiness really lie? Happiness lies in the cessation of mental agitations, not in the object of desire. You agree? We have evolved this. You're saying yes now. At 8 o'clock when you walk out, you will be convinced that there is happiness in dinner. So these masters, these great spiritual giants, they found a way of keeping the mind calm, tranquil, undisturbed, and then it was like you manufactured happiness from within. You were totally independent of objects of desire. Such a person is a stalwart. He calls the shots. Such a person has the capacity, as you heard in the Meera Bhajans, 2 of the Meera Bhajans that were sung so beautifully. You heard that the Ranajis of the world can give you poison. Ranaji gave Mirabai poison and she somehow transformed that poison into Amrita. What a fantastic term it is. It's not just poetry. You know, when you hear it being sung, when you listen to the term, you get inspired for that time being. Just thinking of a person who can turn poison into nectar. But this capacity is there with any person, any stalwart who has manufactured that happiness from within, who has a tranquil mind, who has a peaceful mind and is independent of the world. The moment you are independent of the world may throw challenges at you. The world may throw poison at you. You have the capacity to turn it into nectar. All you have to do is learn this technology, which is there at your doorstep. No, but you want the poison to come. You want to suffer from it. And then somehow you go to a hospital and overcome it, and then you say, that's the joy of living. The joy of living is to make you independent of the world. As long as you have desires, you will be dependent on the world. Not only will you be dependent, but your world shrinks. It's like that movie, what is it? Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Did you see it? Huh? In that, a scientist by mistake goes and shrinks his own kids. And then it's amazing. Every little thing is a huge challenge. The moment it rains, we think we enjoy the rain. But these kids who are shrunk to little beings, the rain is a huge problem. The lawnmower is a huge problem. It's all death. That's what happens. When you're full of desire, your entire world shrinks. You shrink. Your world shrinks. It's like a South Indian who went to Shanghai for work. 10 days. He starved. He was most uncomfortable. You know why? Because he didn't get curd rice then. And we are bringing our children up to be such fusspots. There's one girl who says, the other day somebody gave langda mangoes. I offered the langda. I eat only Alfonso mango. I said, oh. And then some other youngster comes and says, I eat only basmati rice. And someone else comes and says, I can eat only if there is this. So what it means is, the more the desires, the more fussy you are about getting objects of desire, you are horribly unhappy if your particular desires are not met with. And remember one thing, you are free to cultivate desires, but that doesn't mean the world is obliged to fulfill those desires. The day you were born, you were not born with a guarantee that your desires will all be fulfilled. The world will give you your objects of desire. First of all, your wants keep changing. What you wanted yesterday is different from what you want tomorrow. What is the world supposed to take as your desire? And then you are one individual, one human being. There are 8 billion human beings. Whose desire is the world to fulfill? Now, what about the other creatures in the world? So therefore, it's impossible for your desires to be fulfilled. You might as well learn a way of gaining happiness without the desires. So how do you... Before we take a look at how to overcome desire, let's take a look at what desire does to you. The first thing that happens is, desire creates bondage, it binds you. Like, if you have, for instance, a desire for tennis and the Wimbledon final is being played, what happened to all of us? You got glued to your seat in front of the TV. You couldn't get up for those 5 hours that the match was being played. When a movie of your choice is telecast on TV, same thing. You can't move, you can't budge. The other day in Delhi, a lady told me a most amazing story. She said, somebody had a party and invited a lot of people to a home for dinner. They all came and suddenly realized halfway through that the hostess is missing. Where is she? And suddenly the servant came and told one of them that she's in the TV room watching her favorite serial. That's bondage. Desire makes you unhappy whether the desire is fulfilled or not. Let's take a look. Let's say you have a desire for money and that desire is fulfilled. Are you happy? No. What happened? You want more. I remember when we were young, the great excitement among middle-class families was, he earns a 4-figure salary. Today, driver earns 4-figure salary. So then it became Lakpati. Then it became Karodpati. Now I don't know what the standard is. It's all gone berserk. So what happens is, When your desire is fulfilled, you develop greed. Desire, kama, greed, lobha. If that greed is filled still more, you earn a lot more, then what happens? You get into moha, delusion. What is this moha? The moha is that you are supreme. The moha is that you can buy anything you want with the money, which is wrong. With money you can only buy sense objects. You can't buy the love and affection of people. You can't buy knowledge. You might buy a degree. That may be possible, but you can't buy knowledge. And so this is the moha, delusion. And then you get to the top. In the top 10 richest guys in the country, there will always be someone who has more than you. So there is envy, matsarya towards people who have more, and arrogance, mother, towards all the people who have less. All this happens when desire is fulfilled. When desire is interrupted, what happens? Anger, krodha. So let's say you want to bag a particular contract and a competitor comes and gets it. You are angry. What happens is your desire means your thoughts are going from you towards the object of desire. When there is an obstruction, the thought current that is going from you to the object of desire gets deflected towards the obstruction. That is called anger. So anger can never arise unless there is an underlying desire. The more desires you have, the more angry you are. Now what is interesting is, all of this, whether the desire is fulfilled or frustrated, it causes tremendous mental agitations and stress. Next thing is, desire prevents enjoyment. Who enjoys? Simple thing like food. Do you know who enjoys? A person who really doesn't have a desire for food enjoys food thoroughly because he eats aram se, he chews slowly. You know, the taste comes, enjoyment comes only as long as the food is in contact with your taste buds. The moment you swallow it, it's gone, enjoyment is over. A glutton never enjoys, he only swallows. Person who enjoys is a person who savors it. Second, desire destroys relationships. Desire and ego put you on a collision course with all people. Therefore, nowadays you find that divorces are increasing because desire is increasing. Earlier, see, you have to cultivate. In the Indian culture, there is this, you are expected to cultivate a desire. That desire is the ability to be happy by making others happy. What a fantastic ability this is. Today, the moment people marry, it's all about me and my desires. And so naturally they will collide with everybody else's desire. The husband and wife are on a collision course. So the result of that collision course is separation and divorce. Do you know, in the United States, there's a lady an Indian lady who unfortunately lost her husband a few years ago. And when her son said, "Mom, you forgot something," she gave this as an excuse. She says, "Beta, but you tell your teacher I'm a single mom and I'm having problems in dealing with work, this, that and the other." That little fellow, the son, 10-year-old, turned around and said, "Mom, don't make such a big deal of your being single. 90% of my friends in school are all having single moms. They're all divorced." Why does this happen? Because your desire puts you on a collision course with people. To subjugate yourself to the desire of others. What a wonderful thing it is. And this is not happening because our focus is only on physical. In our country, the predominant obsession is with food. Morning to night we are thinking only of food. We don't think of anything else. Even our hospitality is food. So if you don't you've got to believe this. A young girl the other day came to me and said, "I've called it quits." She left her husband's house and went back to her mother. Do you know why? Because she's not given potatoes to eat in her husband's house. She's called the marriage off. Collision course. And the third very sad thing, tragic thing is, you compromise on values. So whether it is Hansi Cronje, who went into the murky areas of match fixing, or whether it was Sita in the Ramayana, who was in a much coveted position. She was thoroughly happy and content, whether she was enjoying the luxuries of her stay in the palace in Ayodhya or the rigors of Vanvas in the forest. She was perfectly happy as long as her attention and focus was on Rama. Sita represents the individual, you and me. Rama represents Atman. As long as your attention and focus is on the higher, you're happy irrespective of what the world has to offer to you. Your problems begin like Sita's problems began when her attention shifted from Rama, Atman to the golden fleeting deer. The golden fleeting deer represents the sense objects in the world which are golden, tantalizing, attractive, fascinating, fleeting, they're passing, ephemeral objects. And the moment her attention shifted to the sense objects, her problem started. What happened? Her judgment went berserk. So she sent Rama to get that golden fleeting deer. Rama told her that, look, there is it's not what it appears to be. When you look out into the sense objects and say there's happiness there, there is a mirage effect there. You know what a mirage is? You see things that are not there. So Rama warned her. She insisted. And so he did what every husband does, cave in. She caved in to the request of the wife and went to shoot that deer. And it turned out to be a demon. Like all our pursuits, they turn out to be demons in disguise. And then that demon let out a wail imitating Rama. So then she got worried. So the next thing that happens is you get insecure, you feel threatened, you want protection. So she sent Lakshmana after Rama. Lakshmana knew that between Rama and Sita, Sita was the one who needed protection, not Rama. But she didn't listen. So knowing fully well that she was in danger, he drew 3 lines and said, whatever you do, Sita, don't cross this line. And these 3 lines represent your own sense of control, your sense of what is right and wrong, your conscience. And when Ravana came in the guise of a mendicant, she crossed even that. And that's what happens. When desires build up within you, you find that these desires cannot be fulfilled through any legal or ethical or moral methods, and you cross the line and you do wrong things. And the first time you do a wrong thing, you justify it to yourself by saying, oh, everybody does it. Everybody evades tax. Everybody bribes. Everybody does this. Because everybody jumps off the 20th floor doesn't mean you have to jump. And the day you compromise